This is the CBC Evening News.
A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the Thursday, September 1st edition of the CBC Evening News and our top story. Barbados immigration officers are receiving the support of the Division of Defense and Security and the Prime Minister's office following allegations of mistreatment from another Jamaican traveler. Sonia King had alleged that she and her son Caleb Joseph were mistreated while in the custody of the Barbados Immigration Department last Saturday while at the Grantley Adams International Airport. At that time, she had arrived in the island on a flight from Trinidad. In a statement issued through the Government Information Service this evening, the Division of Defense and Security and the Prime Minister's office said immigration officers had actually gone above and beyond the call of duty to assist King and her son on the night in question. Now, local officials also refuted most of King's claims, saying despite the late hour, provision was made for something to eat based on what was available from a snack machine. They also stated that hot water was provided to allow King to make tea for her child. Officials also denied that a mattress and sheet that were provided were not dirty. The Barbados Light and Power Company says an electrical fault at its indoor White Park substation was the cause of today's island-wide blackout. Manager of Communications and Government Relations Jackie Marshall-Clark says the outage occurred just before 6 this morning. She says the power company moved swiftly to identify the cause of the outage. Electricity was restored to the city and parts of St. Philip first, and full restoration was made just before 2 this afternoon.
That process of bringing electricity generation back online is indeed an intricate one and must be managed carefully to restore quickly and safely. And what we must ensure is that the system doesn't trip, because customers will experience their electricity on, off, and then on again. We confirm that there was full restoration by 12:48 this afternoon. We apologize to customers and businesses who are impacted by this outage today.
Meantime, nearly 14 hours after this morning's power outage, Barbadians are able to breathe a sigh of relief that they can once again go about their daily routines. And before the service was restored, a CBC team visited the whole town area to find out how Barbadians were faring without power.
From around 6 a.m., many Barbadians woke up to find they had no electricity, and for some that meant no water as well. And the power outage left some people unable to complete their normal morning rituals.
I was out the house at 5:30 for my walk, and then I came back, it was off, and I came down to the Bean and Bagel to get some coffee, and they was off too. So then I had to go into the deli and get some coffee and a scone for my breakfast.
And complete their daily tasks as well.
I have to go to the bank now, but the bank is also closed. Yeah, so we just have to wait it out like everybody else.
One man who did not want to be identified on camera says not only was he inconvenienced by the outage, but he ran the risk of losing his day's pay.
I'm just one of the members of Sunset Crest, but I don't really have an apartment or anything of that sort here. I'm just one of the ordinary workers, and I come to work this morning and nothing. So I can't get paid for this particular day, and if it prolongs any longer, I still won't get paid.
And many businesses in the area were dark and doors locked long after their scheduled opening hours. Some were forced to offer limited services, with one hotel in the area reporting that guests were annoyed as they had no Wi-Fi and the air conditioning in their rooms was off. However, it was business as usual for some enterprises fortunate enough to have backup power.
Ruby Sunset Crest is pretty much self-sufficient when it comes to power. When the power goes out, we have our own generator, so we're able to still continue business. But I would assume that a lot of the businesses around us in Whole Town are being affected by the power outage.
Power was eventually restored to some areas of Whole Town around 11 o'clock. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
Well, residents of Wharton Christchurch are living in fear, fed up with gun violence, and are calling for a halt to it. The most recent shooting occurred around 1:45 this morning during an unauthorized promotional event, which left 5 people injured, one of them critically. Ryan Broom tells us more.
The shooting at Wharton Christ Church left 4 people with gunshot wounds, along with bullet holes in galvanized sheets, walls, windows, and doors. 2 vehicles were also damaged by bullets during the shootout. A man living in the area spoke to us off camera and said this is the worst of several shooting incidents in the area for this year.
Sometimes you pull out your clothes to go up in the morning, you have to exercise, you got to take them back off. You last shooting the boot, a little over 2 weeks ago. It happened there by the pavilion. These fellas just got the defects in thing here, and I don't know if there's groups looking for groups or what, because the shooting ain't really from these guys out here, right? It's the shooting coming from outsiders that coming in, right? And it's scary. So if you don't get something happen to here, and more people are dead. Going on too often and nobody ain't doing anything about it.
CBC News visited the home of one of the victims, 16-year-old Darren Taylor. The former Princess Margaret student was shot in the head and taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance. His aunt Nisha Taylor also called for an end to such senseless shootings.
I would like everybody that's shooting to dump all the violence and the shooting and think all our innocent people getting killed and getting hurt and things. And they ain't worth it. Because at the end of the day, you dead, then get in prison, getting fat, can't back out and still doing the same thing. So they need to stop with it. And right now I got a headache, studying it, stressing out all the time, you understand? Being with depression, thing ain't easy. So they get to stop.
His other aunt, Gaylan Taylor, was visibly shaken and she recounted the morning's events.
From the time that we hear the news, then my sister then get up, put on she clothes and walk down the road because she now had an operation. Then to hear all of that, have we really lit up? I was so tired that I didn't even have the strength to walk down the road. That's how hurt that I was. To then turn around and to hear that is my nephew. I cried, I cried till I can't even cry no more. I could not even see straight.
Meanwhile, as police continue their investigations, residents are hoping that there won't be a repeat of the frightening gunplay. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
Meantime, police will not be pursuing any charges against the parents of the 2 children who were captured in a photograph bound in a bed. According to Acting Police Public Relations Officer Station Sergeant Roland Cobbler, investigations revealed that there was no neglect or abuse of those children. Station Sergeant Cobbler says personnel from the Child Care Board, however, will continue to work with the 2 families. Police conducted an investigation in conjunction with the Child Care Board after the photograph went viral on social media. Stay with us. We'll have more news right after the break.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
Cape Shepherd is adding up your chances to win this back-to-school season. Everything you need for back-to-school is on the middle floor at our Cape Shepherd main store in the school department. Get great brands like Kipling and High Sierra backpacks. Also Hush Puppies and K-Swiss in the shoe department. Plus spend on Grand Collection, Miss Grand Collection, K-Swiss or Smartwear brands, and in Chash's Wonderland for a chance to win great prizes with Cape Shepherd this back-to-school season. Cape Shepherd, in style since 1906.
Winning a fabulous Miami shopping spree is in the cards. Use any Scotiabank credit card for all your everyday shopping, dining out, and more. You'll earn chances to win a trip for 2 to Miami, including round-trip airfare and $1,000 in cash. The more you use your card, the more chances to win. So pay with any Scotiabank credit card today. Need a card? Apply now to get a welcome bonus, plus more chances to win. Contest ends September 30th. Conditions apply.
Barbados seems to be winning the fight against the Zika virus, but there are some words of caution as the hurricane season enters its 4th month. According to Minister of Health John Boyce, no new confirmed cases were recorded since May. Now, to date, the island has recorded 19 confirmed cases, while there were 502 suspected cases. 3 cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome were also recorded. The update was provided during a PAHO workshop on the clinical management of neurological complications related to Zika at the Accra Beach Hotel this morning.
Notice what I said, no new confirmed cases since 2016, but then, as we've said many times, all cases are not reported. Suspected cases have fallen from a peak of 60 in 1 week to less than 5 per week. Dengue, which is transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito as well, saw a similar peak in cases at the end of January and a significant fall off since then.
Mr. Boy says the Ministry of Health continues to monitor the Zika virus both locally and internationally.
Various activities, including aggressive vector control, have been conducted in order to prevent, monitor, and manage the impact of Zika locally. In Barbados, the available indicators are consistent with a decrease in mosquito activity since January 2016. However, there is the prediction of increased activity and risk of Zika with the expected intense rainy season.
While there's no need to walk away from your dreams, this is the assurance from officials at the University of the West Indies amidst an unusual enrollment pattern among prospective students. In addition, UWI students are weighing in on recent issues about the Student Revolving Loan Fund. Kareem Smith tells us more.
A notable decrease in the number of new students registering for the University of the West Indies has officials there concerned, and they think that financial concerns are the reason. It comes just days after a call from UWI's Guild of Students for Caribbean governments to play a bigger role financially. But at a press conference, Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Dr. Justin Robinson, said a number of financial aid programs by both government and UWI are being heavily underutilized. Among them, a number of scholarships solely based on students' need and not academic performance. His faculty, the university's largest, accepted almost 1,100 new students. So far, Dr. Robinson says just about 500 students have responded. He thinks one factor influencing the low utilization of student aid is the stigma attached to it.
People are reluctant to send in stuff about their income and stuff, and I really want to get it into people's head that this is no stigma, there's nothing unusual about this. If you go to Harvard, Yale, MIT, accessing the financial aid mechanisms is actually just part of being a student. It's part of your skill. Being a student, it's finding that money.
In addition to grants and scholarships, officials from the university's financial aid department say there are a number of alternative options, including payment plans, part-time enrollment, and a host of others. Co-chair of financial aid, Dr. Donley Carrington, is appealing to students with financial difficulties to come forward.
Although our financial circumstances has changed, our commitment to development of human capital in this part of the region is unwavering. So we are committed to helping in the development of the human capital here in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. So basically those students out there who would have applied to the University of an offer, we invite those who have not yet accepted their place to come in and visit the financial aid and let us have a discussion.
Students are being encouraged to view the university's financial aid page on UWI Cave Hill's website. They have until September 9th to enroll. In light of the financial trouble brewing at the island's Student Revolving Loan Fund, a number of persons at the university took the time to weigh in on the situation, which could potentially affect them. It comes just days after a number of education officials, including the Minister of Education, Ronald Jones, called on Barbadians who owe the fund money to pay up.
Come up with some arrangement with the State Department, where these people live in the United States, Canada, wherever, working for England, working for big dollar, go after them the same way. Because at the end of the day, if you check Muhammad Buhari, he's going after the funds that belong to the Nigeria coffers. We need to go after the funds that's owed to the state coffers. And wherever these people are, we need to pursue them.
You have to pay back or you face legal charges because it's unfair that your country trying to work for you and you don't want to help them back.
I'm not entirely sure, honestly. It's a really big problem considering that people need help, can't get it. People who have been helped aren't helping others. It's just a cycle of not helping. So I'm not entirely sure how you can fix such a big problem.
Could go after their assets, and that is one way of really getting back that money because it's very important. Once it comes to education, you have to have that money set aside.
Analysts say the uncertainty surrounding the K-Phil institution has many locals wondering what the future holds for a country whose greatest resource is its human capital. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
Well, more than 2.5 years after mass layoffs displaced thousands of public sector workers, one of their unions is continuing with attempts to cushion that blow. The National Union of Public Workers for the second year is wrapping up its Second Chance program, which General Secretary Rosalind Smith says targets the children of displaced workers.
2 years ago, the question was asked, what could the NUPW do for its members who had been laid off? The answer was, provide opportunities to their children. In September 2014, discussions began on the NUPW Educational Outreach Schools project, and this evolved into the formation of the Second Chance Academy.
The 16 graduates who benefited from the Second Chance program are about to enter secondary school. They were tutored every Saturday by veteran educator Jeff Brooms in the months preceding the Common Entrance exam. Another project offering studies at the CXC level is also in the works at the union. Education Minister Ronald Jones told those present at the graduation ceremony at the NUPW headquarters that all hands must be on deck to educate and guide Barbadian students. He also believes the key pillars of the home, school, and church must be strengthened.
I want us to rededicate ourselves to our children. I want us to recognize that they can be like the weed, be tossed to and fro, but they need some stability. Who first brings that? A parent. Then we go to the school, and I want the school to be an oasis for our children who are troubled. And words of anger don't punctuate their heads or their hearts.
Well, stay with us. We'll take a look at stories from across the region when we return.